All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our second JobNow workshop. My goal is to make all of these workshops about 30 minutes or less, and we'll go over, I hope, are the most important features for all of our databases, and we're going to dive into JobNow today. I have a cheat sheet. I kind of wrote all over mine here that I sent out to everyone when I was advertising this workshop. And I'm going to kind of follow it pretty closely, but this will help us have kind of a visual of the important things that I wanted to show you today. So let me get started by sharing my screen. Oh my goodness. Where is that option? There it is. All right. Okay. Does that come up for everybody? Can you see the NCLS page here? Hopefully. Okay. So I'm going to go to their home screen, and just something for you to be aware of. I do have some font settings and Zoom settings in place on my screen. So my fonts are all bigger. So a lot of times I have to back things back down a little bit for you so that you can kind of get a picture of the whole screen. So if something looks a little weird, that's probably why. All right, so I also had sent out to every library. I'm not sure if they've quite arrived yet. They were sent out to a printer through NCLS, a bookmark, and these will give you something to hand out to patrons while you are discussing JobNow. Kind of goes over a quick login process for them and reminders of some of the big features that JobNow offers. So you'll be able to send that off with them and they'll have a reminder to take with them. And then the cheat sheet is kind of more for you and your staff. But to get started and accessing JobNow, we will go to ncls.org and kind of scroll down, find our JobNow logo, click on that one, and it's going to automatically prompt you for that library card. So let's see if I can memorize mine here. Excellent. So I don't want to save that. All right, here we are. Perfect. Okay, so hopefully everything looks okay on your screen for you. This is the homepage of JobNow. I know you entered your library card to log in, but you're going to have to create an account for JobNow. It's really important for your patrons to create this extra account because if they want to continually access a resume they might have made on here, if they didn't download it, that is. Or if they have submitted a resume and they want to access the expert help and the recommendations that that expert might have, if they've accessed any test prep and they want to kind of get back to that right spot, they're going to need to log in with their account. So I've already created mine, so I'm going to log back in. But for you to create an account, you're going to click on login. And you would access the sign up feature here and kind of enter the information that it requires, but I've already got mine. So I'm going to go ahead now and enter mine. Oops, there it is. I will say that I have asked JobNow a few times now about their forgot password feature. For whatever reason, it's not working for us and I don't know why. And I forwarded the information on to Matt and our IT department, but they're pretty busy right now. So this one has kind of fallen a little bit lower on their list, but hopefully when things slow down, we'll get back to this and figure out what our problem is because something has gone wrong. We just don't know what. That said, remind your users and your patrons to write this down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and log in. See, I have a message in my chat, so I'm going to check that real quick. Okay, perfect. All right, so I am now logged in. Back to that homepage is where I land. You can go ahead and check your account all over here on the right-hand side. Flip over to your account real quick. It reminds you that there is an app that you could download and your verification code that you need is here. If there's a QR code you need within the app, you've got that here as well. I haven't explored that one as much just because the settings on my phone make it really hard with zoomed in fonts to really explore. I prefer when I'm doing kind of hardcore work, if you will, that solid work document type stuff. I prefer to do it on a laptop. And I find that most of our users do as well. When they're browsing, they end up more on their phone, but when they're really creating something, they really want to be on a desktop. So I kind of encourage them to come to a desktop here in the library or at their own home. That said, there is an app they can explore and try out. Okay, so back to our homepage. The first thing I really want to talk to everyone about are all of the resume features that JobNow has. And they have two different ways for our patrons to build resumes. The first one is by downloading one of the 3 templates that they have. So we'll click on templates. My translator is popping up for me. That's because they offer templates in both English and in Spanish. And you'll see those listed down here. Your patrons can go ahead and click on one of these and figure out which one kind of fits their interest the most. And download one. I don't know if it's going to pop up for you since I'm not sharing the Word document. It may not. Can you see that Word document, everyone? I'm going to go ahead and stop the share, and then I will start it again so that you can get a full look at this Word document here. There it is. Okay, so this is what pops up when you click on one of those resume templates. So this means that your patrons are going to need Word software. Hopefully they're using this in the library for the first time, so you can kind of walk them through what happens. Let me close out of some of the notifications we get here. There we go. Uh-oh. Let me try that share one more time. It looks like something kind of went a little goofy on me. There we go, we're back in. Okay, so you can see that JobNow provides instructions throughout for our patrons. Your patrons are going to need some kind of word processing skills, whether it's kind of basic or if they've got, advanced skills, they do need something to work with. So they're going to need to be able to edit and change the info to something that applies to them. The red here is information for them provided by JobNow for them to use as they go through. So something to guide them with, and they can change the resume as they see fit, but this is something basic for them to get started with. Okay, so I'm going to close out of this. My screen share has stopped. That's okay. We'll reshare. All right, so I am back to that template page on JobNow's website. But these templates are available for anyone to download. You don't have to have an account to download these. It just makes it easier when you kind of dig into JobNow and get going with some of those more advanced features. Okay, so I am going to flip back to their homepage. Okay, the other option that they have is called Optimal Resume. And I'm going to zoom back a little bit on my font settings so that you can see a little bit more. There we go. Optimal Resume did require that I create another account. And I'm going to enter, I went with my JobNow information to make it easier on myself. Yeah, okay. So since I've already created that account, you're kind of immediately brought to my homepage. But when I did create it, it asked for things like my address, my phone number, my email address, all of that basic information. So that chunk of information actually gets plugged into any resume that I create. And up here, when you go to manage account, scroll down for you. Yeah. You have the option to edit things here should you want to change something in the future. So that does exist for you. Okay. Back to that homepage. So this is Optimal Resume, another feature that JobNow offers. Uh-oh. I'm going to go back a couple times. That's not where I want it to be. There we go. I want it to be in the document center. Aha. Okay, that's one of the things that I don't like about Optimal Resume. It's not as intuitive to me when you're clicking through and clicking around and trying to find that spot that you want to be at. When you're building resumes and your cover letters, it doesn't make as much sense to me, and it takes a lot more clicking. But I suppose you'd probably get used to navigating if you're in here quite a bit. One of the things I do like is that it saves all of your resumes, whether you finish them or don't. I didn't finish any of these completely. So these are all the test ones that I was making. Okay, scroll down a little bit more. They have the resume, they have interview practice for you here, but I really do want to show you the resume feature. So we're going to click in to create new resume. Scroll back down through. It requires that you name it immediately. So I'm going to go with test 4, start my resume. All right, so this is one of my favorite features. You get to browse. You can build your resume in different ways through Optimal Resume. My favorite feature, though, is that our users can tailor their resume right off the bat to the industry that they're trying to apply within. So let me show you what I mean. So if I go to Browse Samples, okay, so I did some searching in here, and I do know where the one is that I'm looking for. But if you weren't sure, you could scroll all the way through all of their samples. I know that I am going to education, training, and library. And I do know that I want the one that's in mid-career. There's only 8, narrowed it down for me. And look at that, they have one that applies to librarians. So you're gonna go to select. Okay, and it gives you a chance to preview everything before you start editing. So that's helpful. And then if you go to use this sample, scroll back down again. All right, you can see where it plugged in all of that information that I provided when I made my account. So that is helpful for us. But the wording and the information that it pulls from kind of what you would traditionally think about a librarian. So those things that automatically pop into your head, those words that you'd want to use when you're building a resume for a librarian, it's kind of popped them in for you already, which is pretty neat. And it'll do that with any of the industries that they provide. Okay, that said, when you click on one, your patrons still do need basic typing skills and kind of those fundamental word processing skills. They need to know, how to use bullets and bold if they want to use those, how to run their mouse, all of that kind of stuff. So that still applies here. Okay. So we can cancel that. All right. So one of the things that I really did like was they've got this navigation bar over here on the side, and you can kind of click through to all of the sections and kind of jump around if you wanted to. They still have a spell check. They've got formatting over here for you. You can see some of your history of your editing. So that was pretty neat. Okay. You have the option right here, say we're all done with our resume and we want to download it. Okay, so I click on download. And I like this reminder here to go through and read your document after downloading, just to make sure nothing happened to that file, and you don't get something that you didn't expect. And then you've got the option for Word or PDF or HTML, depending on what you're looking for, which I really thought that was a nice feature. Okay, so you could download a PDF and kind of save on a jump drive from there, or email it off wherever you'd like it to go. I thought that was a really neat feature, but it's always saved within Optimal Resume as well. So if we go back to that document center, yep, there it is, test 4. Okay, so we could pop back in at any time and start editing again. Okay, let's see, is there anything else here that, I mean, you could work on a portfolio should you wish, and this is something that I'm not as familiar with. Okay. We'll hit continue and see where we get. Yeah, it wants us to go through the linking process of our email. So it's going to ask you to confirm and verify in your email, and then you can explore how to make the portfolio. But we'll go back here. I want to make sure we have enough time to get to some of the other features. Jump back into that document center. Yeah, you can create your cover letter. So we'll create a new letter. Test 1. Well, I guess I should. There we go. Yep, and again, it works just like the resumes do, where you can browse and have a immediately tailored to an industry type of letter, different letter categories and types based on where you're at in the process, or you can even start from scratch, which is neat. You don't necessarily have to have Word software if you want to download as a PDF. So it's a great feature as well. Okay. Yep, and then there's some interview practice, building of websites, which again, I have not explored that feature nearly as much, but I find our patrons asking a lot more questions on resumes and test prep, which are the 2 important things from JobNow, than they do on websites. And so those are the things I wanted to really show you. Okay, so I'm going to run back over to JobNow's homepage. And here in this resume section, they also link out to some other resources. Oh, no, there we go. For you, they fall down at the bottom of this list. And there's a lot of stuff here for our military members, which I found helpful, being that we are close to Fort Drum. So depending on where you're located and what your population looks like, you might find these helpful as well. And those tend to be links out to other external websites. So something to keep in mind. Quick resume feature. Actually 2, I apologize. So you can chat with a live resume expert and kind of ask questions and try to get immediate feedback, or which I don't want to go into the live chat because it automatically pops up on the screen and I don't want them to think that we're looking for help. But you can also submit your resume inside the lab by uploading your file, and then they'll kind of go through it with a fine-tooth comb and submit back to you some suggestions for changes that your patrons can absolutely use. They don't have to. It's really up to them. But that service does exist. So it takes the pressure off of you and you don't have to critique, and instead they can upload here, which is a great feature. All right, so back to that homepage. They have some interview tips, which are going to be links out to some other pages for you. But those might be the ones within JobNow, actually. Online resources might be, yeah, these are the ones that jump out to other pages. My apologies. But they also have a live interview coach, which again, I believe you're going to connect with a live expert, so I don't want to jump into that too much for us. All right, one more feature before we end for the day that I really want to show you. Yeah, here we go. Right. So in this career section, there's a whole bunch of stuff here for you to utilize with your patrons. My favorite one is in this section called SkillSurfer. And that name seems a little misleading to me because that's not what I would have chosen. It doesn't scream test prep to me, but when you click on it, brings you this learning library, and you have at your fingertips a whole bunch of test prep materials. So you've got things like the GED. So when you click on one of these, you've got both prep guides and you've got complete practice tests, which I found absolutely fantastic. So they'll literally walk you through a practice test, which I know if your library is anything like ours, these test prep guides, we can't keep them on the shelf. So one of the things I want to do is take some of the bookmarks when they're ready down to our shelf and put them near the spot where these guides would be, and have them available for our patrons. So if they can't find the guide, the physical guide anyway, maybe they'll walk away with a bookmark and have something that they can at least use. We can provide them with a service. It's not going to be the physical in their hands book that they might be looking for, but they'll still get some kind of prep guide. So I think that's kind of an awesome service that we can provide for them. One of my coworkers actually had the idea too of putting a QR code down there that's going to take them straight to the JobNow login page on NCLS with instructions. So I thought that was a great idea as well, something to consider. Okay, so we've got GED. We should help. I gotta go back one more. There we go. We've got task materials. We should have, yep, PSAT, SAT, ACT, CLEP, TOEFL. I mean, the TEAS is on here. There are just so many. Should be, yep, there's just college level practice. So if somebody wants a tutor kind of thing, you can also refer them here for just some extra practice. Placer, which we don't get as many questions about, but it's still here for you. I thought I saw AC, or not ACT, AP on here somewhere, but I don't remember where it was. But anyway, there's ASVAB, which is one that not only does it check out a lot, it gets stolen a lot as well, at least for us. So that exists for you. There's full prep packages and practice tests. There's even ESL resources down here, which I thought was amazing. The one thing I will say that I was disappointed by was, the unemployment benefits. They just kind of link out to other links that exist on the website. It's not actual guidance per se, like the other preparation and guides are here. So it is here, but it's not as robust as some of the other items. So I was a little disappointed by that one, but the other ones seem absolutely amazing. Okay, so let me click back to the home page. There's also some career assessments that they link out to on here, which I'm not sure if I would know exactly where to find these, at least some reliable ones on the web. So I thought that was a pretty interesting thing that they provided for us. Not a question we get a ton, but they are here. And of course, there's experts as like overall job coaches as well on here for you. And then there are, let's see. There is a job search feature built into the top of this page. And if I remember right, yeah, it links out to the Indeed.com search page. So it's kind of a one-stop shop for us. Any questions that I can answer for anybody? We've got a few minutes left. No questions? Kind of get that awkward pause. Zoom is hard sometimes.
I have a question.
Absolutely. Fire away.
Has anybody done the live interview coach thing?
I haven't seen anyone do it here. I don't know if our patrons have found it and kind of done it on their own. You never know. But I haven't done it here. No, I don't want to get in there and be like, oh, hi, I'm a librarian. I just want to see. I don't want to disappoint.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But if you do hear of anyone doing it, let me know what their experience is like. I'm curious.
Okay.
I see I have a message in the chat. You're welcome, CL. And is this limited use? Oh, so the Law Depot thing. I see that you're asking, is it limited use on Law Depot? I keep getting notices that I only have so many uses left. So what that is I believe with the uses, it's going to require you to kind of log back in. So you're logged in for so many days. And then I don't think you necessarily lose access. It just wants you to re-log in, if that makes sense. So this isn't limited use. No, you've created your own account and things stay in. Okay. I'm sure if you don't use it for an extended period of time, your account gets deleted and that kind of thing. I don't know how that works, but yeah, we should be good. Okay. Anything else I can help with? All right. Well, we are very close to our half-hour mark. So I wanted to keep things quick. I know our time is very valuable and we're all very busy. So feel free to reach out to me at any time on any of the databases. I'm happy to help. And if I can't answer it, we'll pass it on to Matt and see where we get. All right, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.